Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. It is a damn fine day to talk about a book. And today we are here for a book review, and we're going to talk about Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So I said Aurelius. My wife says Aurelius. She says I am wrong. I did not look it up before this video. So if I'm going to say it wrong or say it two different ways throughout the entire video, then that is what you get with Well Red Beard, I guess. So I enjoyed this book, and I'm going to talk about how I got here, and how I started this journey of Stoicism and philosophy, and where that came from. I mean, I've always considered myself, I guess, a Stoic without actually having a name to put on it. I mean, it's kind of the way I behave. I mean, I try not to waste time. I try to live each day, I mean, somewhat to the fullest. I try to, all evidence to the contrary, try to take care of my health. I try to eat right, try to do some exercise. I exercise this a lot more than I exercise this, but try to be balanced in those things. um Try to be a good person, try to deal with people um in certain ways that kind of are touched on here. So I've always kind of like felt that way, like, and again, contrary to me coming here and talking all the damn time, but try to, only speak when I have something important to say, try to listen better, just all those things, so I've always felt that way, but didn't have a name for it. I didn't know it was called Stoicism, and all that. So, and again, I know Stoicism is a lot more than that, but whatever. So I've said this multiple times in other videos, but I stumbled on this guy, Ryan Holiday, on YouTube. He's a writer. He owns a bookstore. He has people in, and he gives them books, and they just stand there for 12 to 15 minutes talking about books, and that is my jam. Apparently, even though it's mostly nonfiction books, it's a lot of philosophy and how to I mean, how to be productive, how to be creative. I mean, things like this, which I'm reading right now. But anyway, so I kind of dug that, and he is a scholar of Stoicism, and this is his favorite book. He said he got his hands on it when he was 19 years old, and it changed his life. So what I will say is, I gave this book 3 stars. I gave this book 4 stars. That kind of feels ridiculous. I mean, this is Meditations by an ancient Roman emperor, and this is a modern book by I mean a scholar of Stoicism, but a guy on YouTube, whatever. So, but for me, like this, while there's a ton of good shit in here, ton of good shit, and I got a nice copy here, but I started reading it and I wasn't digging. I wasn't really digging like the first few pages of it, and I got to thinking maybe this is the wrong translation, and this is clearly like a more accepted translation. They may be the exact same translation. I haven't looked, but I I started reading this one, and then I read this one. So but I'll probably put this one on my shelf. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, while there's a ton of good stuff in here, like I did feel it was kind of sloggy at points, and maybe some of that was the translation. So I started, just going down that road, and as to am I reading it the right way? Am I reading slow enough? Do I need to slow down? And then I just read it, and it's 12 books, anywhere between roughly probably 30 to 80 different meditations. They're numbered in each book, um, in each one. And, it's not very long. I mean, a lot of this up front was like intro. Well, maybe not. It's roughly 100, it's about 200 pages, 187 pages of actual meditations. So, this is the most powerful man in the world at that time writing his own personal thoughts down. I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I mean the gist is, or the idea is, that there was never any idea that this was going to be published and so widely read by everyone, that he was just writing for himself, just things he had learned, advice to himself, and stuff like that. Now, again, what I have found is that while I like this and while I gave it 3 stars, I feel like I much more enjoy books like this, which again, this takes from this. It's got the best parts of this, but it's also got modern stories about people of business, artists, athletes, things like that, things that are more modern and maybe more, I guess, for the times. Um, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I enjoyed this book more, and I feel like I already said that. Yeah. Should I start this video over? I already asked that question. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna start this video over. Anyway, so um, I took two major things from this book, and for me, those things are how I deal with other people, especially in situations where I feel like I've been wronged. I mean, one thing I've picked up on through this brief study of philosophy and whatnot is that, when you hold a grudge, like if you feel you've been done wrong and you feel like you're owed an apology, because I've had situations like that, and you hold a grudge because of it, like I don't know, like you almost assume that, that person, man, they're not going to be able to sleep at night, right? Like they know what they've done. But you realize that that's not always the case. Some people just sleep like babies, not even considering the ways that they have wronged other people. But if you carry that grudge, like you carry that weight alone, right? Like they did the wrong, or that's your perception anyway. They did the wrong, but you're the one carrying the weight by carrying that grudge. So yeah. Anyway, so a lot of stuff like that, a lot of things about how I deal with people day to day, how I deal with assholes sometimes in some cases, and things like that, and being a better listener, and communicating better, and being less offensive with my speech, right? While trying to maintain the truth, and then the other thing that I really took from this is, and I'll probably get a better understanding after I read this one, The Shortness of Life, or On the Shortness of Life by Seneca, which is another book that is part of this rabbit hole that I'm going down. Is appreciating the shortness of life, not being so afraid of death that I forget to live. And I am. I mean, I am deathly afraid of death. I am 48 years old. I am on the backside of this thing, trying to, again, make the best of every day, trying to be productive, trying to be creative, trying to, enjoy, what I have left, and to focus more on those types of things rather than the end, and I mean, I was brought up in a very, very religious household, and I was taught that, one day Jesus will come back and take us all to heaven, right? And when I was a kid, I prayed for that. I prayed that would happen before I died, because I didn't want to die. And I don't necessarily say those same prayers today as a 48-year-old man, but I have to say that I probably, in many ways, feel the same way. I mean, it is a horrible, horrible thing to think about. I mean, I'm going on 25 years of marriage, and one of us is going to have to watch the other one die, and again, you hope you go first, almost, while being scared to death, you almost hope you go first. But anyway, so things like that, there's a lot of good stuff in here about making the most of life, and again, not fearing the reaper, so to speak. Some of these are very, very short. Some of these are very long, like you'll see, like over here, you've got one that is half a page, and then you got one over here that's like one line, and this one says, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Feels simple enough, and then this one over here, the longer one, which I've also marked. I have no idea of knowing what this one says, but I marked it, so I must have liked it. Make a habit of regularly observing the universal process of change. Be assiduous in your attention to it, and school yourself thoroughly in this branch of study. There is nothing more elevating to the mind. I'll stop there. I won't keep reading that one. I'm going to look just briefly here towards the tail end and see. Um, okay, this is another one I marked. If you want to know how Marcus Aurelius would say that everybody's got haters, and you're not truly successful if you don't have haters. It says no man is so fortunate, but that some who stand beside his deathbed will be hailing the coming loss with delight. So you're not fortunate unless someone's standing there when you're dying and they're happy about it. I guess. Um, uh, how hollow and insincere it sounds when someone says, "I am determined to be perfectly straightforward with you." Why, man? What is all this? This thing needs no prologue. So, to be honest, or I'm going to be honest with you here now, or how do you say it? I am determined to be perfectly straightforward with you. You get what I'm saying? I mean, all shit that we all know, but I guess I personally could use reminders. When you let yourself feel resentment at a thing, you forget that nothing can come about except in obedience to nature, that any misconduct in the matter was none of yours, and moreover, that this is the only way in which things have always happened, will always happen, and do always happen. There are bad people out there. You are going to come across assholes, and that's just the nature of things. That's how it is. Anyway, Marcus Aurelius Meditations. I've read it. I think my goal is to go back, read the ones I've marked, maybe make a habit of touching some of this periodically. I didn't love the book. I mean, it is a bit dated. It has to be, right? But a lot of it definitely stands the test of time. Was important, and like I said, I needed reminders of some of these things. So this is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I gave it 3 stars. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.